Okay, so story time. My son was molested back in August. I had to do a DUI and drug evaluation where my son couldn't go in there with me because there was perpetrators in there and other people that couldn't be around kids. So that just being said, after that, I ended up, spending time at my sister's house for my mom's death date, and it was New Year's Eve as well. So we was waiting for the ball to drop and for the date of my mom's death. Anyways, my son had told me that another kid had touched him. And that point on, that's when I started asking him the most serious questions that I dreaded in life. I ended up asking my child, has anybody else touched you? My son said, hey mom, this person did. I was distraught. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I know I was angry as hell. See, because this is the type of stuff that I try to break when it comes to generational curses and breaking generational curses. This is one of the major things that I never wanted to happen for my child. I don't want no harm on my child. See, I'm a lesbian. Growing up, I was a stud, a dyke, or whatever. And as I grew, I realized who I was. I wanted a baby because my ex-girlfriend, Karina Muller, she actually was just on dog shit once she got with somebody else, and they acted like they can do for my daughter and couldn't. So, yes, and that's still my daughter. Not biological, but she still is, okay? Period. So if you see her, tell her, let me see my child. Well, back to my baby boy Adonis. So I ended up having Adonis, and I always wanted him. I didn't care if I was having a boy or a girl. I was always going to love my child. I don't play about my child. I made a vow to God that if he allowed me to give birth, that I promise to protect my child, nurture my child, care for him, and love him, and respect him, and hold him above anybody on this earth. And that's exactly what the fuck I did. So I stood 10 toes. I reported that my child was molested by my father. And my father has full-blown AIDS. Do I like calling him my father? No. But just so y'all know exactly who I'm talking about, to get down to the nitty-gritty, it was the man who raised me that I called dad. And he touched my child and got away with it. I was 302'd by the York City Police. York County, York City Police, not New York, okay? Google it. The detectives 302'd me according to the report I made about my child being molested. Tell me how that's okay. They put in a whole bunch of stuff in that paper saying I was manic, delusional, and a whole bunch of other shit. Anyways, nothing was founded. So that was their mental health evaluation. Now I have to do another mental health evaluation, all right? They also try to get dependency over my child, saying that he was dependent, where there was no reason of him being dependent. I had money, I had a house that I partially owned because I was renting to own. It was a land installment contract. So yeah, that landlord owes me a lot of money because I left a lot of shit in there. Not only that, he did not give me back none of my motherfucking money. Not only that, he was never supposed to rent it out or do anything with that house until the property of the structure was livable for people. Anyways, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's get deeper in the situation what happened to my child. After the dependency court, my house got condemned. Children Youth was right there, okay? Now, me and Children Youth do have an understanding now, but at the same time, I still don't trust nobody with my kid. I know about the Pizzagate and all the rabbit holes and shit like that, so I'm just working with them so I can do what I gotta do so I can get my child back. Because I only have 3 things I have to do: parenting class, a mental health evaluation, and a drug eval. I already did my drug eval, gotta do my parenting, gotta do my mental health evaluation. The court is now paying for that because how am I paying for it? I'm poor. Let's get back down to the nitty-gritty, okay? So, after me sleeping in the tent and all that other stuff, camping and stuff like that, I contacted them because my child was taken right after the campgrounds. And they pretty much, are basically helping me now with a whole bunch. I can't even talk right. They're basically helping me now with a whole bunch of stuff. They gave me shirts. Somebody else brought me shirts. They got me pants. They got like a whole 3rd floor full of items that they could have been giving me. But I appreciate it now. I guess we have a more understanding, and they actually understand now what I'm going through, and they know that I am a good mom, so they're actually trying to help me for the most part. Even though it took them a hell of a longer time just to get me a letter so I can sign the housing voucher, so I can be able to get a housing voucher. But they still have to release the housing voucher to me because they need another letter from CYS saying that he will be coming home to me if I do this, that, the third, and get a place. Stability is one of the biggest ones on there. There was a lot of people that screen recorded my life when I went too far making a skit. I told Children Youth I was going to make a skit so I can get money because they didn't have no funding. They said they had funding and resources, but I didn't see none of it, which is the reason why they took my kid, because I was homeless and had no resources. Now, as this may sound like one of your stories or something that happened to you, that means it probably have. The best thing you should do when it comes to children and youth is working with them, and the first thing you should do is get you a good lawyer. Without a lawyer, you're helpless. You will not win. They will drown you in water, literally. You will feel like you're sinking, and you will feel like you can't breathe. These people are the government, and they are higher officials. But when you have a platform and you utilize it very well, you are able to make a deal where things are more likely to go in their favor, because now they want to go in your favor. They want anything that's going to help you and get the child back with the mom once they know that you don't play about your kid. This is what they left out. As long as you have a good lawyer and you don't play about your kid and you do everything you got to do, you will get your child back. I had fought with the system and all that, and I'm getting my child back. You got to do all four things: a lawyer, a platform, fight with the system, call higher authorities like Trump. Okay, I don't care what nobody said. Trump had his hands in this. And what I mean by he had his hands in this is that court went very well and my child is coming home. I just have to get a place. Now, I know people are asking, why ain't the pedophile locked up? Well, my son was molested back in August of last year, all right? And when he was molested back in August of last year, I also have ADHD, anxiety, and PTSD. And that type of trauma and that type of stuff, hearing that type of stuff, knowing that it's happening to your own kid, and you have ADHD or anxiety or PTSD, that would cause it to be erratic. That's what they seen. They saw me all over the place. And then they said, oh, is it behavioral health or is it something emotional? They knew it was emotional. Now, that cop had grabbed my child. People are saying, oh, she has a gun on her waist. If she was worried about that gun when I told her to please back up and give me my space, and I looked at her very sturdy, she would have backed up if she cared. She did not back up. My child pushed her because he was trying to defend me and defend himself. He felt like we was in danger, and we were. Now, certain people can't even work with me because of that video, because they got in trouble. Now, when it comes down to the government and children, they don't play about children, but a lot of children go missing over here in America. So for the people that's not in America, that don't understand how the system works, ask yourself, why is your food labels different than Americans' food labels? Ask yourself, why is the chicken flu, bird flu, are killing all the chickens in America, but there's still chickens in America? Now, when I say I love my country 100%, I just don't like the things that they do. You know, you might not like people, but you don't gotta hate them. You might not like people, but you still gotta respect them. They don't respect a lot of things over here when it comes to the people. We are supposed to be united. We're supposed to be something that you can't even divine. You feel what I'm saying? Divide. We are very divine, is what I'm trying to say. And we are something that you're not supposed to be able to divide. You see, I got the African charm around my neck. Okay? I know where I come from. I know we're from the motherland. And I know we are of God. And God has his armor all around me. And when I say my song Forever and Ever, Kingdom of God's Children, go listen to that, because it's about this. And I wrote it. I sung it. I'm the artist. Get ready for part 2, because we ain't done here.